it's beat tight. Oh, my body's breathing, it's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beat tight. Oh, my body's breathing, it's just you and me. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost, deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call.
Welcome back, everybody, to more CGL Season 13 coverage. My name is Bowsy, and I'm joined here by Megalas on the cast. And today, Megalas, it is time for yet another match in the EU PC division in the open tier. And we have such an absolute banger on our hands here today.
Yes, indeed. We got two great teams coming back after slightly different week ones, looking to sort of help improve their season standings because you always want to get those wins in early, establish yourself as a threat early on. And the two teams we have are super interesting, right? Bader's up first. They're a team that has been established apparently for over 2 years, this same core playing together. And Bowsy, I mean, you know how much synergy can help in a game like this.
Yeah, synergy is a massive thing. You want to know how your teammates play to that sort of level, and if having players around for 2 years can definitely make a difference. We'll see if the Baiters are going to be able to rise up against their challengers, which are the Black Diamonds, which have a very, very interesting lineup. A lot of great players I see on the enemy side, but Baiters, nonetheless, very good team. As we see the Black Diamonds here, Megalas, pretty interesting names across the board. I'm interested to see how well Ninetales can play in this game, and as well as the rest of the team, and if they can get this super effective victory over Baiters.
Yes, indeed. I mean, just a fun little fact behind the scenes. We allow teams to sort of fill out any information they feel is relevant to the match or anything like that. Bader's talked about their synergy, how long they've been playing together, and Black Diamonds filled out things like their accomplishments being one of them has a girlfriend, in parentheses, online. So Black Diamonds definitely has some sort of mental buff or debuff going on. We're not really sure which way it's going to fly on that one, but it should be interesting nonetheless with how these teams want to break it down. But since we are in week 2, we have to talk about the map pool, right? It is set. These teams aren't going to be able to pick anything super crazy. It's going to be Lijiang, Numbani, Servasa. If we can get to those later maps, it will be New Queen Street and Shambali Monastery. And Bowsy, these maps, it creates a lot of different opportunities for a lot of different comps.
100%. I see a variation just from these 4 maps alone. I see a lot of maps where you can play Dive, you can play the Ramatra Brawl competition, you can even play the Junker Queen. There are multiple opportunities here. Plus, with that recent patch that we got for Season 9, the entire meta has been shifted on its head. Everyone's health pool is now larger, but their bullets are also bigger, so everything is different right now, Megalas, in Season 9 of Overwatch 2. So we're going to have to see how these teams are going to adapt to this new meta with only 2 days to prepare for this match.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many different varying discussions on where the meta is heading, right? Nobody's really been able to iron things out. There's people saying poke is really good. There's people saying, oh, just run it down with some rush. There's some people saying dive is really strong again. Wrecking Ball might be having a resurgence. There's so many different takes on the meta, so many different variables. It I think the only really established thing is that nothing's been established yet. So it truly is a wonder if these teams are going to try to run with tried and true, see if it works in this brand new Overwatch we live in, or if they're going to say, screw it, throw spaghetti at the wall until they find something to stick in this new world.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a lot of parity. The next few months of Overwatch are going to be a bunch of parity. A lot of people experimenting with different things, trying to find that perfect meta composition until eventually it becomes mainstream in the world. Just like how Goats was formed, just like how Dive was formed, just like how every other meta composition was formed. It's all going to come down to who makes the right play as we're waiting for it to get into this game, Megalas. Starting off with Lijiang Tower, which is a very interesting map, a very brawl-heavy map, but can lend itself to other compositions if the placement and time is right.
Yeah, absolutely. Control Center really feels like the only one where you're forced to run some sort of rush variant, being able to get in there fast, effectively, and just do the damage as you need to. But the other 2 rounds, both Garden and Night Market, as you said, a lot of different compositions have come through over the years, especially if you look towards Night Market. A lot of Symmetra shenanigans have always happened there, regardless of what's going on in the meta. She's almost carved out a niche there as, its home, but I remember watching a game yesterday and there was a lot of actually Doomfist being played. Some interesting dive comps coming through with just some super aggression. It's just absolutely interesting to see how it's going to break down. And I mean, we haven't even talked about the support changes, right? Lucio having an insane boot buff, which if you haven't played with it, I promise you will notice a difference right away with how good he is. And also just the rest of the supports being able to have more of that agency to do what they need to do in order to make plays instead of just being a heal bot.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot. It's going to be interesting to see how the supports are going to play into this. Also, with the fact that with all the support changes and the healing changes in general, everyone now having that passive heal, meaning 5 seconds out of the fight, and you're going to start regenerating 20 health per second, which I believe is the same sort of health that Lucio's aura can provide. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams are going to adapt to that, what they're going to be trying to employ in their strategies, and what they're going to be able to do here as we enter in to our first map of the series here, Megalast, starting off again on Lijiang Tower to begin the series. Heading into the match here, Bader's on the left, Black Diamonds on the right, and we're starting on Lijiang Garden.
Yes, indeed. Garden, always known for that super tall tower. Used to be the home of Farah, but I think the jury is still out on this rework for Farah, at least for the time being, whether it will be played or not. But at least in the spawn rooms here, we are seeing two different interesting takes. Black Diamond's going to roll out on what is considered the Junker Queen Jotes composition, where you simply just kind of run people down exactly like goats, but instead of all these shields and things, you simply have a Junker Queen shout in her powerful will. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Baiters, they might be looking for just a TP out of spawn, and then Art will switch over to something else, but yeah, that looks like it's going to be the case, as it's just going to be a dive coming out from them with the Sombra in tow.
Yeah, definitely. That Sombra can make a lot of impact here. It's going to be Kev trying to go for a punch to the back line. Almost punches themselves off the map, however. Now Black Diamond see that as an opportunity to engage, but Air getting a lot of pressure put into them, but is able to get the kill on the Jestral to start off. Now with Kev falling as well, it's going to be an easy cleanup here for Black Diamond, showing that the Jotes composition is still strong as ever.
Yes, indeed. Some would say it's even stronger now, right? One of the biggest discussions of the meta currently is about Junker Queen, right? With the size changes, the projectile of her knife being able to inflict that wound damage constantly has just gone up. So, Junker Queen just becomes that much more of a threat here. Baiters, if they're looking to make this dive work, they're going to have to set up on a target fast, because giving Black Diamonds any room to work with is just going to spell disaster.
Absolutely. Bader's trying to move through this white room here as Black Diamonds see them on the engage. Kev going to be going over with that seismic punch, now getting into the block, but already Johnny Script and Tommy B have fallen out of the fight. Kev once again whiffs their punch and is met with a jagged blade from Air, as once again Black Diamonds quickly and effectively cleaning up the field here from the Baiters, making that health extension seem to be pointless so far.
Yes, indeed. And Baiters, the issue is they're taking too long to set up these dives. Ultimately, they are admitting defeat on the dive composition, deciding to run the Jotes themselves here. It's going to be a mirror composition, but Black Diamonds will have the ult advantage by a massive percentage here. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes down.
Absolutely. You already see Robert De Niro going in with the overclock, but gets killed out by Artie before they're able to get any sort of final blows. A great opportunity here for Baiters to try and re-engage, but still Black Diamonds want to try to salvage this. Nuritan uses the Kitsune Rush, but still picks are going in favor of the side of Baiters as they use that beat from Johnny Scrims, the only ultimate they had starting in this engage. Now they find themselves on the point trying to clean up the stragglers and take the capture percentage for themselves.
Yes, indeed. It's just going to be some cleanup here, but actually the beat coming through means that this fight can keep going.
And it is going to keep going as two picks are found here for the side of Black Diamonds. Tommy B and Johnny Scribbs out of the picture. Artie will be soon to follow. Kev just trying to keep themselves alive here on this Junker Queen, but will eventually get bested out by Air. And all of a sudden, Black Diamonds bring it back. One fight left for Baiters to try and take this point.
Yes, indeed, and you're seeing them push the spawn room here. Air probably just going to dedicate a rampage to whoever thinks they're going to touch in time, but there actually is somebody already back on the point.
Yeah, it's Tommy B on the point, but Johnny Scrims is gone, however. Manazir will get the kill will end up dying, but Tommy B is out of the picture, and no one from the side of Baiters is there to touch. Black Diamonds get a convincing 100-0 cap here on Lijiang Garden.
I was so concerned, right? Watching Black Diamonds, that Sojourn kind of go super aggressive with the overclock, getting picked early. You thought, oh, surely this will be a fight for Baiters to win, because they even got some follow-up picks on that one, committing their beat. But ultimately, Black Diamond, they had the sustain. The Junker Queen stayed alive. That was constant damage coming through, and they just could not remove Black Diamond from the point. So now Baiters having to take a bit of a mental reset here. At least they look to be starting on the mirrored compositions now. This should hopefully give them some sort of edge in making this a cleaner fight.
Absolutely. So we'll see if that mirror composition is going to favor them. Bader's actually making a last-minute swap here, Megalast. We have Tommy B coming out on the Farah here with that rework.
Yes, indeed. And again, as people say, the jury's out. You can't hover in the air as much, but those rockets still do insane amounts of damage, so do not sleep on the Farah just yet. We will have to see if Tommy B can find the value that they are looking for.
Absolutely. You also have to worry about that horizontal dash that makes it much harder to hit you in the air. Tommy B trying to use it to their effect, but Manazir gets that first kill on them to start off the fight here. Black Diamond's down the advantage, and now Johnny Scrims out of the picture as well here. Bader's forced to retreat, give up this fight, but Air wants more, going straight in the backline and cutting Artie to pieces as Black Diamond's taking that point for their own.
Yeah, and I mean, something we have to keep in mind, Junker Queen, not just with the new heal passive with extra health, she has an insane amount of self-heal of her own. Anytime she's doing any sort of damage with that knife or axe swing, she is gaining health back off of you. It just allows her to sustain so effectively in these fights, even without, complete resource dedication from her supports. It's absolutely crazy to see.
Absolutely. Is now Vader's trying to go for this wide rotation here with the Junker Queen composition, trying to find that backline immediately. Kev might have missed the carnage there to start off the fight, which is not ideal, but you see the rest of Vader's just piling on top of Black Diamonds, and it's going to be the Anbu falling first here in this fight. Tommy B getting that final blow. Black Diamond still trying to re-engage here. They're trying to keep this in their favor. Johnny Scribs is found out by Manazir, getting that final kill. Now the rampage unleashed here by Air, trying to clean up the rest of the pack as Artie ends up falling. The beat is engaged here by Ninetales as Tommy B uses the barrage, and it's just a sitting duck for the knife coming out from Air.
The upside for Baiters is you only commit the barrage to that fight. So now you're going to be able to have a lot more online. You force Black Diamond's hand. You even got him off of the Widowmaker. You're seeing over to the Tracer now. It's just super interesting to not rock the Sojourn here. Just saw consistent damage, especially at range. But it's going to be another close fight in the spawn.
Yeah, absolutely, but Artie is going to pop out the overclock, has found two with it so far. Air and Manazir get put into the grave immediately, still looking for more, but the rest of Black Diamond's back on the point. Ninetales steps a little bit too far out their range and ends up falling to the hands of that Sojourn as well here. And at the end of the day, Vaders, they might lose their Sojourn, but they're getting the point for their own.
Yes, indeed, and now they're able to sort of dig their heels in and start working back, try to gain this percentage a little bit more in their favor here. They have the ultimate online right now. It is going to be this Junker Queen rampage here, but being able to make sure you find it onto the targets you need is going to be the key.
Oh, definitely not a good start, however, for the side of Baiters as Manaster gets that first kill.
Ooh.
But Kev is boosted off the map as well. Ninetales finding a crucial elimination, getting rid of a Junker Queen as Black Diamonds find themselves back on this point, claiming it for their own once again, and Baiters left in one fight to try and take any sort of percentage left on this map.
If I'm Kev, I'm thinking to myself, that doesn't boot me if the patch didn't come through with the Lucio buff. We said you're going to notice it. And so now, heading towards 99%, it's just going to be about getting a touch on point.
Tommy's there to touch, and overtime is triggered, but they sacrifice their life for it. The pulse bomb from Anbu does miss here as the rampage comes out from Kev. Does land onto two members, but there's no kills resulted from it. Now both of their supports are out of the picture. Artie is quick to follow as the Black Diamonds clean up the point one by one. They'll be taking the first map in this series pretty convincingly here, Megalab.
Yes, indeed. Baiters, they looked, a lot better than that first round. That dive composition did them no favors, but once they pivoted over to the Jotes comp itself, they were able to put up at least a little bit of a showing, but there was just a lack of conversion. These teams that they just weren't able to win these fights outright. They could get the picks, but ultimately making sure the fight didn't stall out long enough was the bane of their existence, at least here on Lijiang. So, I don't know, looking forward, you gotta look to make sure you're executing these fights clean and effectively. Otherwise, if you allow them to drag on, Black Diamonds will just dig their heels in and they will not give up.
Yeah, absolutely. Black Diamonds right now are putting a lot of pressure, ironically, onto Baiters as now they get up one map in the series here. So definitely a good start for the Black Diamonds. But now as we head over to map number 2, Numbani is the next map choice here, Megalas. And whatever we just watched there on Lijiang Tower is completely thrown out the window. Numbani is not a Junker Queen map. It is much more known as a dive and or poke map. So you are probably going to see both of these teams try to attempt that. The question is, which team do you think might be better on that composition?
It's hard to tell, right? I mean, we saw Baiters, they did walk out on that Doomfist dive, at least initially, so clearly they have some sort of confidence or they've practiced it to some degree. That being said, obviously it's not known as a Jotes comp map or anything like that, but if you have the confidence and your rotations are fast enough and you can execute cleanly on where you want to go, you can make it work. It's kind of rough on first and second point, but really once you get into third point, it gets a lot more linear of a map and you can really make compositions like the Junker Queen one just shine. So would not be surprised to see either of these teams try to lean back into that one, especially Black Diamonds, just because of how great they looked on that composition.
Yeah, definitely Black Diamonds looking good on that Junker Queen comp as we head over now to our second map of the series. Numbani is again the pre-selected map choice here. And right now, if you're Baiters, you have to really try to show something here that will throw Black Diamonds off and try to gain advantage in this series, because you're going to need it at this point. Because right now, what we saw in Lijiang was not really good. 30% taken on a combination of both maps we saw on Lijiang Tower. So we'll have to see if they're going to be able to show up here on Numbani and turn the tide in their favor.
Yes, indeed. But, it is just map one, so hopefully you can kind of shake those jitters, right? You never want to mentally destroy yourself before giving yourself the real chance to play out the series. There's a reason these sets always go to 3. You have that first map almost like a buffer of like, okay, let's gauge the situation. Let's see what we're up against and truly just decide if you're able to go toe to toe, because that's the great thing about Overwatch. Hero swapping, comp swapping is all been enabled in the game for a reason. If you can't stand toe-to-toe against the opponent, then you just switch. You try something else. You try something different. But at least for the start here, we are seeing both teams opt into some different looks. It's going to be a dive theme overall, though. Baiters on the defense a little bit more reliable. You're seeing them on the Winston, as well as with an Echo and Soldier 76, and then you're going to see the Ana pocketing the Brig and vice versa, keeping each other safe while the heals and antis just rain down. But Black Diamonds, they're going to be going aggressive with this Tracer, trying to find this backline. And, Ash with a Mercy Pocket, I saw how much value this hero can get yesterday. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, definitely. That Dynamite contributes all to that 20% healing reduction that the DPS can put into your team here. As Black Diamonds start making their engage here, Air and Kev having a little bit of a taser fight on the high ground here as Tommy is poking from on range. Black Diamond looking for that perfect opportunity as you do see Manasser going into the backline here, but now Air going in for the dive as Tommy falls to the hands of that Tracer. Manasser getting that first pick. Already a good start here for the Black Diamonds, but Air is falling extremely low. It's forced to retreat back to the health of their supports, but nonetheless, Vader's not in a good foot here as Black Diamonds get a pretty good start to this engage. Make it even better as Jestral's out of the picture as well.
Yeah, and it's just very odd. The point of playing on a Brig, you sort of support each other, but neither of them really helped each other there. They just allowed a Tracer to poke down their Brig, and it's ultimately going to be the thing that cost them first point here as Tommy goes down once again. And you're seeing Black Diamonds take a lot of positioning here on the second point. They want to be able to hold aggressively and get this cart moving as fast as possible.
Yeah, definitely, and it's gonna be the Ana player of Nuritan who's pushing that cart. Meanwhile, Johnny Scrimps is already out of the picture before Baiters have even a chance to defend for their own, as it's gonna be Black Diamonds pushing all the way up to the second point here, Megalast, taking every inch of space that they are given.
Yeah, and this is how you're supposed to play it, right? Don't even give them the opportunity to establish anything, right? The longer you give a dive composition to set up, the more they're going to be able to execute their plan flawlessly. So just negate that by simply holding them back as long and as hard as you can. So Black Diamonds are going to continue to get this card pushing through Numbani Point B with some ultimates to their name. Probably going to dedicate them here just to win a fight outright.
Already the first ult invested here by Black Diamonds as Manasser does use that pulse bomb, but they aren't able to get anything with it. And as well, the bomb coming out here from Anbu, finding the kill on the Jestral, but it is traded for a res going on to Nuritan here. Baiters still want to commit into this, however. Kev uses the Primal Rage, but unfortunately has to retreat as they are low on health. Is still going to try to go in for one final elimination, but is super low on health and is inevitable to be dying to the hands of Air here. Black Diamonds continuing this pressure here on this cart, continuing pushing it through the streets of Numbani with very little contest.
Yes, indeed. In Numbani Point B, it's a point that's never existed, and that's for a reason here. You're seeing the Nano be dedicated more as a zoning tool than anything, just to keep everybody back. But Air actually managed to find value within the backline.
They also use the Primal Rage as well to get rid of Artie back in the spawn room as the second point is capped here with 5.5 minutes on the clock. Black Diamonds enter point 3.
Yes, indeed, and you can't get nervous at this point, right? Like I said, Numbani Point B does not exist, but Numbani Point C certainly does. Defenses always are able to hold here, and that's a great start to your defense right there.
Already finding out that pick onto Anbu, forcing out the res here from Ninetales. Good start for Baiters as they're trying to find some value here. Nano Boost goes on to Kev, but Johnny Scrims is traded out. Tommy is looking for this Mercy of Ninetales, who's keeping the entirety of Black Diamonds alive. Meanwhile, both of their supports are out of the picture. Now the only support left on the field is Nuritan on that Ana, trying to stay alive as a beautiful pulse bomb stick from Tommy lands on a Manasser, and now all the kills going in favor of the side of Baiters. They may lose their Winston here at the end, probably won't though, as Air is 1 health and is trying to retreat back to the health of their supports, but Baiters get a hold.
Yes, indeed, and that's going to be hopefully the first hold of many here is what Baiters are hoping for, and that's another way to get it going with a beautiful anti-nade. It's just going to slow this offense down even more as they're forced to regroup.
Yeah, Manasser is going to be sent back to spawn once again. Black Diamonds have to try and wait for another attempt to try and push in. Not to mention, the only ult they have is this Pulse Bomb online. You also have that Bob coming up here for Anbu, so we'll see if they're able to build it up quickly. But still, Baiters are not trying to give them time. They're just going to be diving right in the back line and already getting rid of Anbu before the Bob can even be unleashed. Ninetales will be quick to follow as well here as Black Diamonds forced to reset once again, and already almost 2 minutes have been burned off of that 5-minute time bank.
Yes, indeed, but now's where you gotta worry because Black Diamonds are approaching some ultimates once again here, and this is where they can always shine, right? The Bob creates such space as well as just the damage coming through from it is something to fear, and this Pulse Bomb, you know, we've seen it be lethal, but it's just going to come down to if they can execute it right. If Baiters are able to mitigate some of these ultimates as they come through, it's just going to result in more and more defensive hold and more time being burnt.
Oh, but it's already not a good start here for Baiters as Tommy tries to go for that flank angle on the stairs and ends up getting caught out by the members of Black Diamond. Now the Nano Boost unleashed onto Air, going right in the backline and finding Artie, so there's no DPS left here for the side of Baiters. Kev trying to keep this alive, however, goes for the backline, trying to pressure out the supports, pops the Primal Rage as well. Meanwhile, their support line is out of the picture. Baiters now struggling to keep themselves afloat here, but Tommy B is back in the fight. Rally unleashed here by Ninetales, just burning Kev to the ground, sitting in the middle of the back line. Now Air pops their own Primal Rage, trying to pressure out the members of Baiters here as Black Diamonds continue to push this card forward.
They're pushing forward, but there's little bits of resistance here. You're seeing Tommy B do as much as they can, but unfortunately it's just not getting to cart. The Tracer had no health, no blinks, no chance. And so now Black Diamonds are going to be able to end off their offense with a 2-minute 40-second time bank. Absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, definitely ludicrous indeed. Baiters definitely not looking in the best situation as they're going to be on their attack here. They have to cap with time in the bank. If you can get it over 2 minutes, that is good because then you are going to decrease that time bank of Black Diamonds. But so far, it's been a little bit rough here for the side of Baiters here, Megalas. I'm interested to see what they decide to go for here on their attack ground to try and spruce it up and try to gain the advantage.
Well, sort of look at the differences and, you know, how these players are playing, right? I definitely think that your key to victory might be off of the back of your DPS. Throughout that round, even in fights where it was getting lost, Baiters, Tommy B was really kind of being the hero at a lot of points, you know, on that Tracer, just constantly peppering in damage, getting the pulses exactly where they needed to. But unfortunately, you know, a Tracer can't 1v5 every time. It's just not physically possible. So potentially dedicating some more resources over to your Tracer to help them survive in these fights, as well as just enabling them to do more, could be a nice little path to victory here for Baiters. But Black Diamonds on the other side, they're going to make it difficult. Especially with the Widowmaker coming out. You know, some people have been debating this hero a lot too, now that she's lost a lot of one-shot potential. Is there still merit to running the Widowmaker? And I think we're going to have to prove that here and now.
Yeah, Widowmaker probably the only hero now that can hit a one-shot without having a mercy damage boost. As Hanzo was taken out of that equation with his bow and arrow. Nonetheless, Baiters want to try to dive into this, and they already get so much pressure onto Air, and Air messes up their jump, so they're still in the front line of it all. Kev now going for the back line. Immediately, he's taking a nap, but is woken up immediately. Power nap, unfortunately, is not enough to keep you alive in that situation as Ninetales hits them with that whip shot to get rid of him in the fight here. Black Diamonds continue their hold here and already burning off 30 seconds off of Baiters' time bank.
And what you saw there is how Ana Brig is supposed to be played. These two heroes exist to pocket each other. The Ana can heal everybody outside of that range. The Brig is here purely as a bodyguard for Ana. They executed on that perfectly. They were able to blow up Kev on this Winston. So now having to try to find some sort of new way to get in is Bader's.
Yeah, Air's going to be trying to push out Bader's, however, from pushing in, going into that area where the supports are located. But meanwhile, Anbu is dead here to the side of Tommy B, so great engage here from Bader's to try and take advantage for their own. Air goes back up for the dive, but Jestral is there to keep the rest of the team alive in that corridor, trying to go back to the relief of their supports, who thankfully are waiting for them on the opposite side of the ledge. Meanwhile, Bader's start taking some captain percentage as Manasser trying to get some value here in the top right, and now a beautiful anti-nade setup finds 3 immediately. Air and Manasser coming in for that 3K as all the points are cleaned up, and Black Diamonds continue this hold.
And that was a beautifully executed dive. You had your initiate tool, the anti-nade, and then you had the follow-up from both the Winston and Tracer to just get in and wreak havoc. So now, you know, another offensive fight taken away from Bader's here. They were able to walk away with 1 tick on the point. Do that 2 more times and you'll get this payload moving, but it's still going to be an uphill battle here, even though they're finally starting to get some ultimates online.
Definitely. Bader's trying to find their way to best engage into this situation. Now also, while that Anbu is on the Echo, no longer on that Widowmaker, so you have to really prioritize your dive targets effectively. Tommy, not going to be doing that. Instead, they're going to be heading back to spawn. They were forced to use that recall and got hit by the anti-nade once again by Nuritan. They've been spot on with these anti-nades and this Ana play all game here. Bader's now trying to use his Primal Rage from Kev, getting Nano Boost, but taking a nap in the middle of the point. Not the most ideal location to take a power nap. Nonetheless, they're still trying to get value until they are completely annihilated by the Echo and the Brigida. And once again, Bader's forced to reset, and now they've lost 3 ultimates in that single fight that they lost.
Yes, indeed, and that's, you know, the recipe for disaster. It's one thing to lose a fight, but to invest into it heavily and still come up with nothing, it just means that, you know, something clearly isn't working. You have to find the value somewhere. Black Diamonds on this defense, though, they're setting themselves up for a phenomenal last minute here. The Pulse Bomb can win you the fight single-handedly, the Echo duplicate, and as well as the Rally, just to kind of keep everybody nice and healthy. If they can hold all of these ults to a potential overtime or a potential final fight, it could be big.
Absolutely. Black Diamond's willing to try and invest into this immediately as the duplicate is popped here by Anbu, as they are able to get the kill into Artie before they are brought out of it, and now all the kills red in the kill feed. Kev will get the kill into Ninetales, but at the end of the day, it's yet another victory here for the Black Diamonds, and there's only 30 seconds left for Bader's.
Yes, indeed, and, you know, looking at the depleted ult bank, the depleted morale probably, you're looking at, you know, this, I was going to say the Dragon Strike to come through massively, but we decided to just give up on that ultimate. Art switching over to the Sojourn here for these final seconds, potentially thinking that the value could just come from the raw damage instead of that Dragon Strike. I mean, I respect it, but it's going to be brutal going into this last one.
Definitely will be brutal here as Black Diamond's trying to hold off Bader's from touching the point. Tommy B is there to touch, but Manasser getting the Tracer diff entirely, removing that Tracer, but it is not without consequence as there is 2 kills in favor here for the side of Bader's, but Manasser is putting on a clinic here with this Tracer, just eliminating everything in sight. All that's left is Artie and Kev as they do take that second tick, but now Manasser's out of the fight. Now it's the Winston duel between Kev and Air, trying to win out this duel, but now the Primal Rage is invested from Kev, just trying to keep themselves alive. Air will answer back with their own as now a sumo match on the point. It's all a matter of which support can get back first. Jethrall's back on the Lucio, but it's starting to get moved away from the point as Kev is taken out by Anbu's back on the Soldier 76, and they get pulse bombed as well. It's still a back and forth affair, but it's looking all in favor of Black Diamonds as they have the spawn advantage and no one from Bader's is left in the fight. Black Diamonds go to match point.
And, you know, Bader's, that final fight, things were looking up for them, right? They had that swap over the Sojourn that I questioned. It was paying dividends. There was picks coming through from it, that rail landing exactly where it needed to, but unfortunately there was just too large of a problem in this Tracer on the other side. You saw it in that last fight, I believe 4 going in the hands of that Tracer, and so now Black Diamonds, they've got to be feeling pretty confident, pretty good about themselves, displaying some dominance over a few different comps here, and Bader's, I don't know, they got to go back to the drawing board.
And definitely Bader's have to try and find some more bait to put into the water here to try and see if they can catch Black Diamonds off guard, but so far Black Diamonds have had this realm to their own here, Megalas. It is halftime, however, so there is an opportunity here for Bader's to try and reconcess and try to find themselves back in a good situation as we enter map number 3 here. So hopefully they're going to be able to bring it back, or else Black Diamonds are taking a swift and effective sweep.
Yes, indeed. But like we said, this is the halftime. Give the teams a chance to rest. We'll make sure to see you guys on the other side of this break, so stick around for more CGL action.
Right now in our matchup here in the CGL Season 13 EU PC tournament, Baiters have come up dry. Meanwhile, Black Diamonds are currently looking in prime position to claim a clean 3-0 sweep. Bowsy joined here once again by Megalas as we're heading over to Suravasa. Things need to change here if you're the side of Baiters, because right now it has not been a good series for you. Something has to change. You have to throw a curveball here to try and find yourself back into this series and try to initiate a reverse sweep.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had flashes of brilliance. Baiters are coming alive in that last fight on Numbani, and Tommy B has been putting up some decent numbers, but unfortunately, it's just not fully connecting yet. There's not a lot of the synergy that they need going on, which is super interesting, right? Baiters, they come into this a team boasting about their synergy. They've been playing together for years and years, they say, but I don't know. It's just going to be very rough. The upside for them being, of course, that Servasa is very different. Flashpoint still, the newest game mode. A lot of people trying to figure it out, try to mess around, figure out what exactly is going to be the best here. So could be the opportunity, like you said, to throw that curveball.
Yeah, definitely. It is a great opportunity to do this. The newest game mode, plus the newest style of Overwatch that we haven't seen since 5v5 was pretty much introduced here. So we'll have to see if these teams are going to adapt, what they're going to be able to do to try and change up the script here, and what they're going to be able to do to try and get themselves in the prime position. Black Diamonds, again, one map and they take the series. Baiters need 3 maps, but they have to try and start that reverse sweep here as we enter into the wonderful world of Suravasa. We'll see what these two teams are trying to plan out, and that is a Mauga, Megalas. I'm hoping that Black Diamonds are not serious about this.
It's not leaving the spawn. If it leaves the spawn, then Black Diamonds are doing a little thing called limit testing, and Bowsy, you and I know what happened the last time somebody tried to limit test. It ended up in a reverse sweep, so maybe they don't exactly think about that one all too much. Baiters, on the other hand, looks like they actually might want to walk out on this Zarya composition. It looks like a standard rush. They're just simply swapping out what would be a Ramatra typically for the Zarya. I'm very intrigued to see, as Black Diamonds, they have left the spawn on the Mauga hero. God help us all.
God help us all, indeed. Thankfully, Mauga is not as overpowered as they once were back in January or December, but still is a very powerful hero that can just charge into your team like that and do so much pressure, and Kev is learning that the hard way, getting burnt to a crisp and hit in the head by those 2 cans. Shashan Gunny getting a lot of value here as Black Diamonds just continually holding that W key straight into the enemy backlines and finding everything in sight. Robert De Niro is dead, however. Black Diamonds finding that Black Diamonds losing their Reaper pick, but they will get the cap first.
Yeah, absolutely here, as I may have noticed something interesting. I'm kind of speaking for the broadcast side. If I saw Tank's HP correctly, we might be on quick play settings. Therefore, the tanks do not have their full HP. I don't know if that's something that needs to be looked at, or if we're just going to run with it. But yeah, you're seeing this setup come through here, making something work.
Yeah, definitely here as Baiters trying to find some sort of advantage here as they are getting a lot of value pumped into them. Kev trying to find any value here on this Zarya, just trying to beam down the Mauga, keep themselves alive, but already so much value is getting obtained here by this Mauga. They are able to find Johnny Scribs, and Robert De Niro back and better than ever gets the kill onto Kev, and is also cleaning up Jestral as all the picks go red in the kill feed. Black Diamond's cleaning up the field and continuing this capture percentage.
Yes, indeed. And so now they're going to be able to potentially take this to final fight. Baiters might not even get a touch. They're giving up on the overall this concept of the Zarya here. But it will be interesting to see how they come back into this one. They have a lot of ultimates to their name, but they're just choosing to give it up.
Yeah, choosing to give it up, waiting for the next point to unlock, trying to see what point it is going to be here, as Black Diamonds will get the advantage as we head over to the next flashpoint, which is Temple here, which has these closed-in sight lines, but also has those opportunities to boop. So Johnny Scrims and Ninetales might have a field day here, Megalas.
Yes, indeed. It's just going to be the matter of which of these supports is able to get everything going first here, as you're seeing the aggression come out.
Yeah, Wandeg already using this Coalescence, and the Blossom from Robert De Niro finds 2 in the backline. Baiters are not long for this world, as Kev will die as well here, and the cleanup comes in for the side of Black Diamonds.
Yes, indeed. Black Diamonds getting another point cap going in their favor here. But, they did have to invest a few ultimates. That's going to be the trade-off here. You're seeing Baiters now switch Tommy B back over to that Pharah, hoping to maybe make some of these rockets come through. but it's going to be super, super interesting to see.
And definitely Black Diamonds trying to set up close here, trying to prevent Baiters from even pushing in. It's going to be very easy here with the Cage Fight Blizzard combo. Manazir cleaning it up with air in tow. All the picks going red in the kill feed once again. Tommy is the only person who is left alive for now, and that is not long to be as Black Diamonds continue their dominance over this map here. And now they're trying to hold extremely close here, Megalast. They don't want Baiters even leaving their spawn doors.
Oh, they're not even going to be aware that they're here. Somebody's going to get caught out in such a sad way. Oh, but the Ramattra spots it at the last second.
Kev's able to spot them, and Johnny Scribbs now invests the beat to try and stop this early push coming in. Air, however, is still alive and well, continuing to fire those two chain guns and find value in this. But Manazir is out of the fight here immediately. Kev finding that first kill. Now Baiters now have an opportunity to try and engage here as the Reaper of Robert De Niro extremely low, just barely healed up, as now here comes the Annihilation from Kev into the backline looking for value. Air is already brought in the fight courtesy of Artie, as now Kev just trying to continue this pressure. Now Robert De Niro's gone, so is Wandeg, and Baiters take the cap here. Black Diamonds over brought it to 99%.
Yes, indeed, Black Diamonds, having to show a little bit of hubris and, try to figure something else out now, as these teams are going to have to try to make something work here. Tommy B has this barrage. Being able to set up for it in a rather sneaky place could be massive for getting more percentage on the board for Baiters here, but it is going to be tough to tell how exactly it's going to work out.
Yeah, definitely. As you see Tommy B in the backline looking for the barrage, lands it right into the back. 3 kills with the barrage. Robert De Niro, Wandeg, and Rezanam taking a flight back over to the spawn door. The last member to fall will be Air right outside of their own doors, and that is a great stagger here, Megalast, because that means Black Diamonds might not get another engage.
Yes, indeed. If they do, it is just going to be somebody rushing into touch at the last possible second. So, as we're just seeing exactly how Black Diamonds wants to get back into this one. First time in the series, we've really seen them on the back foot, so it will be interesting to see how they cope with the pressure of it as they're trying to walk up now.
He comes in here from Ninetales to initiate the engage, but the Coalescence is here from Jestral. But the Blossom from Robert De Niro putting in so much damage. Artie and Kev meet their demise. Vader's trying to find any sort of value, but so far they have not been able to get anything. They are able to get Wandeg, but it's not enough. Now both supports out of the picture. Tommy is going to be quick to follow as they fall to the hands of Robert De Niro, and Black Diamonds take that point back and are now thrusted into Flashpoint match point.
Yes, indeed, Baiters, they were able to get that one to the 99%, like you said, but unfortunately they weren't able to come away with it. So now they know at least that their composition can work, though. They know that they can win fights. It's just about doing it more effectively and more consistently here. Black Diamonds is going to have this lethal combo of the May Blizzard plus the Malga all online, so it's going to be something that they have to be concerned with heading into this next point.
Cage Fight Blizzard is definitely a hard combo and is one that will haunt your dreams for the rest of your life as Black Diamond take the advantage here on the garden, but Johnny Scribbs initiates with the beat, but here comes that combination of the Blizzard and Cage Fight, and everyone from Baiters is caught inside of it. A deep freeze will send Black Diamonds to cap this point first.
And so now heading forward on into the next fight, they're going to have this Coalescence online. Meanwhile, Baiters looking to sort of potentially try to set something up with this barrage again. It's going to be a lot harder to do it in a sneaky way when you're on the offense trying to get into point. But the other thing looming is Kev building towards that Annihilation. Such a potent ultimate, especially with a comp like Black Diamonds has where everybody's forced to stick together. But they've just out-rotated?
Yep, they just take a different angle entirely. However, it's not looking good here as Johnny Scrims and Kev are already out of the picture. Tommy uses their barrage, is able to get rid of Ninetales, but it's not enough here. And now we have the stagger going on to Jestro, who's just going to plummet themselves into the river to initiate that fast reset and ensure Baiters have one more fight.
Yes, indeed, but one more fight is the key. The only ultimates looking to come online here, unless the fight goes long, is going to be Robert De Niro's Death Blossom and Kev's Annihilation. Those two are going to be the things to watch for. Which one of those will determine the rest of this map, potentially locking it up for Black Diamonds or giving Baiters the much-needed chance to get back into this one.
Here come Baiters through that sensor way, trying to find the advantage as the Annihilation is popped here by Kev. Robert De Niro answers back with a Blossom and finds 3! 3 kills with the Blossom! That's all they needed! A 4th kill for Robert De Niro as the team kill comes in! And Black Diamonds putting so much pressure and shining bright with a convincing 3-0 sweep.
Yes, indeed, they do it in dominant fashion with the Malga to boot. Obviously a lot of different things going on, but ultimately it's just what they sort of chose to work with, and it's what worked out for them today. So now Black Diamonds moving up to 2-0, have not dropped a map yet. Exactly the position you want to be in early in the season. Establish yourself as a force right away to simply let the other teams know, hey, we're here to play. We're here to show you what we're made of.
If there is nothing more fearful than a team that goes undefeated in the season, and Black Diamonds are trying to make a statement with exactly that here. Megalast already going 2-0 in the season and showing what they're made of overall, and now putting themselves in a very good position heading into the future weeks. And also noteworthy, they haven't lost a map either here, Megalast. So this now makes 6 maps in a row in the CGL Season 13 EUPC division that they have won this season. So they are looking like a force to be reckoned with here in the tournament, and maybe here for a while.
Yeah, and that's always the hope. You want to establish yourself, because we do have some crazy opponents in these, tournaments, right? There's so many teams that want to try to show up, do their most, and be the best that they can be. So to establish yourself as one of the top names this early on in the season is always going to help. But, there's still such a crazy amount of season left to play. You got to be able to make it last a little bit longer before you get the buzz going around you. But beautiful performance today.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not to say that the enemy team did not have their own performances. There were some standouts there for the side of Baiters, but it just wasn't enough to break through the mold that was Black Diamonds. But what a really good match we were treated to here, Megalast. A pretty interesting match to say the least. But there's still more CGL Overwatch to play as the season goes on.
Yes, indeed. In fact, we'll actually have another game later tonight on the NA side of things. So if you're able to, make sure you tune into that one. Should be a banger of a match. And of course, we'll always have as much CGL action as we can cover here. We have an amazing broadcast team behind the scenes, always making things look super pretty, including our beautiful faces here, me and Bowsy, as well as the rest of the casting crew. But that will be the ending of this match here. Thank you all for tuning in. And like I said, make sure you tune in next time for some more CGL action.
Absolutely. Till we meet again, have an amazing night.